Before we get today's video started, be sure to hit that big red button and subscribe to the Alabama Football Report, your one-stop shop for everything Alabama Crimson Tide football all season long. The best part about it, it's free, and the more subscribers we get, the more videos we get to put out. So be sure to tell your friends and hit that big red button today to subscribe to Alabama Football Report. Game day is finally here. Welcome into the Alabama Football Report. Your Alabama Crimson Tide will be facing off against the Miami Hurricanes down in Atlanta. They're home away from home, really, with the way that Alabama plays down there in the ATL. The number 14 Miami Hurricanes come in with a record of 8-3 last season, while the Alabama Crimson Tide, as you know, won the national championship last year with a perfect 13-0 record. But before we get into the game preview, let me know your favorite Alabama moment ever. I'm talking ever. You love that Tua throw to Devontae Smith, whatever it may be. Let me know what your favorite Alabama moment is down in the comments below. I can tell you mine. It's a little recency bias. It is the Tua to Devontae Smith. Nothing like that in a national championship game type setting. But let's start with the game preview as well. Alabama is no stranger to strong starts to their regular season as, well, looking back to 2015 at Jerry's World, they beat the number 20 Wisconsin Badgers 35-17. Then I don't even want to talk about that. That's embarrassing for the Trojans of USC on that one, 52-6. Then they beat the number 3 Florida State Seminoles in 2017. In 2018, they dominated Louisville 51-14. And, well, I didn't count 2020 in this because it was the SEC play. So this is out of conference starting week 1. And obviously they beat Duke as in the same stadium that they're going to be playing in tomorrow afternoon against the Hurricanes. Comparing the stats for the starting quarterbacks, well, it kind of goes one way as D'Eriq King has, started games in college, while Bryce Young is getting his first collegiate start against the Hurricanes tomorrow afternoon. D'Eriq King, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the country, coming off of an ACL injury, and is reportedly 100%, at least if you listen to King himself. Bryce Young, recently named QB1 earlier in the week by Nick Saban and crew, will, as I mentioned, get his first collegiate start, the number 2 overall prospect in the class of 2020. If you listen to 247 Sports, is going to get his first start. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this might be the best matchup of QBs this weekend. I am absolutely ecstatic to see this matchup just because you think about it. D'Eriq King, if it isn't for this ACL injury, I think he's really in that Heisman hunt last year, but unfortunately got hurt late in the season and just couldn't really take Miami to the promised land or where they wanted to go. And Bryce Young, really everything is there for him to succeed, right? All those 5-star and 4-star talented guys on the Alabama roster. It's just, can they put that offense together and thrive under the first-year quarterback? But, hey, let me know. Who's going to have a better game tomorrow afternoon? Is it going to be D'Eriq King or is it going to be Bryce Young? I better be seeing some BYs down in the comments because I have a feeling it's going to be Bryce Young as, again, he's the next QB in line for this Alabama team. You think about some of the guys that have come before him, most notably the Tuas of the world, Jalen Hurts going to OU. And, I mean, he's got some big shoes to fill just from last year's starter, the number 15 overall pick in the NFL draft, Mac Jones, who was absolutely dominant at Alabama last season, completing 77.4% of his passes, throwing for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, one of the Heisman finalists. It's just one of those things where I think it's natural now at this point to know that if you are a new starting quarterback at Alabama, you have large shoes to fill in your first season of doing so. And Bryce Young has some of the biggest shoes to fill and maybe some of the most unexpected shoes to fill in terms of the success Mac Jones did have. I thought Mac Jones would be absolutely dominant like he was, but maybe not even to the level that he went to. He surprised a lot of people, and I know a lot of Crimson Tide fans might get mad at me. I'm right there. I understand he's great. I love him too, but I think he did shock some people in terms of his success. He did wait in line, but man, did he capitalize, especially with Devontae Smith winning the Heisman alongside him. But looking at the opponent, the Miami Hurricanes, and how they stacked up on defense in 2020. They ranked 51st in points per game, allowing 27 points per game, and finished 32nd in sacks with 30 as a team. Now, Jalen Phillips was that main guy for them, almost getting double-digit sacks. He's now, still in Miami, but with the Dolphins, the thing with the Miami Hurricanes that really didn't allow them to take that next step is that third and final line right there. They gave up 43.8 points per game to ranked teams. As we know, Alabama, well, the number one team in the country, arguably the best team coming in. Maybe I know a lot of people want to put Clemson in that conversation, maybe OU as well. I think it's clear as day. It's Alabama. But how you feeling? Your one word to describe Bryce Young as a starter against the Miami Hurricanes in Week 1 down in Atlanta, facing off against those South Beach Hurricanes. I mean, it's going to be one of those things for me where I'm damn excited, to be honest with you, to see Bryce Young, all this hype, finally on the field. This is his moment to come out and officially show to the world that he is the QB1 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I look for him to be aggressive early, but also smart. His football IQ is one of the highest for the youth that he shows in terms of experience. I think he's one of those guys that could surprise some people with just how smart he is outside of the Crimson Tide community. But when you think about what Bryce Young brings to the table in the sense that, first and foremost, he's a dual threat. He's got smarts. He can throw the ball to all three levels of the field. I think Bryce Young is one of those guys that, again, he's going to be in the Heisman race. There's a reason that he's got plus 900 odds, to win the Heisman. But overall, I'm just super excited to see him in his first official game action as a starter for the Crimson Tide. But again, tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, September 4th, 3:30 Eastern Time, down in Atlanta, the Crimson Tide get their 2021 campaign underway against the number 14 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes, who, again, last year went 8-3. Alabama perfect, lost a lot of pieces as, well, they typically do down in Tuscaloosa. But Nick Saban, they don't rebuild. They reload, as everybody knows, and that's why I've got Bama winning 42-21 over the 14th ranked team in the country. I think Bryce Young goes for almost 300 yards passing, 3 total touchdowns, and is absolutely electric in his debut as a starter for the Crimson Tide. But I want you to predict the score down in the comments for me. Who you got? Number 1, Alabama, the Crimson Tide, and I know you're going to pick Alabama down in the comments, or you're going to pick those measly Hurricanes down there from Miami to win this one. I better see a lot of CTs down in the comments for the Crimson Tide as they open up their 2021 campaign in a place that's really, as I mentioned, home away from home down in Atlanta, the home of the Atlanta Falcons. If you haven't already, and I know we read it from the top, be sure to hit that big red button. Again, this is your one-stop shop for everything Alabama Crimson Tide as the season is officially here. No more waiting. Nick Saban and crew will be roaming the sidelines down in Atlanta tomorrow afternoon to kick off the 2021 campaign in the Bryce Young era of Alabama football. Should be fun, and we're here all season long to keep you up to date on everything Alabama football news and rumors.